Hey, DIY Mississippi Film Works here. It's Ultimo Gallos. Ain't no wrestling going on. Ain't much wrestling out there happening that has fans. I can't watch this no fan wrestling. I tried. I watched WrestleMania. I give MMW props. They're still putting out episodes with fans out there. I'm enjoying their little run through Mexico, but wanted to get some content out there. I thought I'm going through the collection. I realized April '82. That's 28 years ago. 28 years ago, Victory Sports Series, The Wrestler, April '82 issue came out. It was $1.50. Greg Valentine, Tony Atlas still wrestles like a rookie. How Jack Briscoe controls Ric Flair's championship destiny. There's Jack Briscoe's Ric Flair all bloodied up. Look at that. Look at that. Just badass. The Armstrongs win the Georgia National Tag Team title. That's Bullet Bob. Scott, maybe? Steve? Brad? Majoring in mayhem, the John Studd School of Rule Breaking. Tito Santana on the verge of greatness. So I'm just going to do a little flip through. This is a second job for people in the military. It's an ad for that. Fuck all that shit. Atlas ad, of course. Okay. And subscription was $18 back in 1982. Wow. And $1.50 was a lot. And this is on newsprint, of course. Stanley Wilson's president. Bill Apter is the managing editor. Stu Sachs is here. Craig Peters. Stephen Farhood. Dan Shockett. Okay, Dan Shockett will be in this. All right, here we go. The official wrestling ranking. This is for April '82. So probably we'll say January, because these were always a little bit behind. WWF champion Bob Backlund. Okay. Number one in their top 10, Adrian Adonis, then Jesse Ventura, then former world champion Pedro Morales. Greg Valentine I think he leaves not too long after this to go down to Crockett, doesn't he? Killer Khan, Tony Atlas, Ivan Putski, Jimmy Snuka, Pat Patterson, and number 10, Rick Martel. Rick Martel had plenty of runs in WWF before he was teaming up with Tito and whoever, and before he was, the model. All right, let's go to the NWA, the National Wrestling Alliance. NWA is still around, still under that name now. WWF is not WWF anymore. Their champion at the time was, of course, Ric Flair. Then, of course, we got number one in their listing, Sergeant Slaughter, before he went back to WWF. Tommy Rich, former world champion there. Speaking of former world champions, Dusty Rhodes. Ken Patera. Some of these guys you'll see are working more than one place. Ken Patera is listed someplace else too. Roddy Piper, The Spoiler, Harley Race, another former world champion. Jack Briscoe was Jack and Jerry were both world champions, weren't they? I'm not sure on that. Ted DiBiase should have been a world champion. And Les Thornton. All right, now we're going to go to the AWA. And we got Hogan, Slaughter, Abdullah, and Greg Valentine, our guys in the middle here. AWA, their world champion is Nick Ballwinkle. Number one contender is number one guy is Tito Santana, then Hulk Hogan. Yes, Hulk Hogan was still in the AWA at this time. Ken Patera is number 3 in the AWA, and he's number 4 in the NWA. Crusher Blackwell, great wrestler. Baron Von Raschke, Greg Gagne, Bobby Duncombe, Sheik Adnan Al-Kaisi, Crusher, and then Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. All right, so let's go to tag teams. Number one tag team, according to the Wrestler, the Anderson Brothers. That'd be Gene and Ole? That had to be Gene and Ole. I don't think Arn was wrestling as an Anderson yet. Then Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. Greg Gagne and Jim Brazil, the High Flyers. Jack and Jerry Briscoe are still tagging. Brad and Bob Armstrong. Okay, so it was Brad with Bob that won that. Okay, cool. Mike George, no clue who that is. Anybody knows Mike George is? Please tell me. Junkyard Dog. Tony Gurria and Rip Martel. Oh, God, Tony Gurria. Ken Patera and Bobby Duncombe. The Mulligans. Ox Baker and Carl Fergie. Most popular, Andre the Giant. Tommy Rich, Dusty Rhodes, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Ricky Steamboat, who's not listed anywhere, I noticed. Mil Mascaras, Junkyard Dog, Pedro Morales, and Jerry Lawler. Most hated, Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Ken Patera, Greg Valentine, Bob Roop, Abdullah the Butcher, Adrian Adonis, Kevin Sullivan, The Spoiler, and Killer Khan. We got our letters here. Let's see. Let me find one here. Okay, here we go. It's about Bruno. Look at Bruno's nice little Jerry curl there. Bruno Sammartino, our future Hall of Famer, will be missed by many fans, including Pete Seville of McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. He'll be missed. I was a fan of Bruno Sammartino for as long as he was wrestling. I always thought he was a good champion. He held the WWF title with pride against all rule breakers, and it will be hard for me to go to wrestling matches now that Bruno's retired. I want to wish Bruno the best of luck in the future. I think I will owe him at least that much now that he has to quit wrestling. From Pete Seville, McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. It says, continue on page 50. Let me see if they give a reply. Probably not. I don't remember them replying the letters. No, they don't. All right. Telling you how to be a locksmith. Army surplus tank, $182. Man, you know what? A stimulus check hits. I'm going to buy me 5 tanks. What's happening? This is about Greg Valentine may regret challenging Pedro Morales to an Intercontinental title match. Champion Morales demands the bout be held on national television so the popular Puerto Rican will have 20 million witness when I kick your butt. Look how young Greg Valentine looks there. He was like 30. For Greg Valentine, he looks extremely young there. Correspondence report. I always love these. Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm going to give a shout out to Canada. Here we go. Toronto, Canada. Correspondent Steve Bailey. Maple Leaf Gardens was packed as NWA champion Ric Flair defended his belt against former 6-time champion Harley Race. Race quickly opened a large gash on Flair's forehead with a series of diving headbutts. As Flair's blonde locks turned red, Race executed a series of suplexes. Flair came back and applied a figure 4 leg lock, but Race escaped to the ropes. Race finally pinned Flair, but he did so using Flair's trunks for leverage. The infraction was spotted and the match continued. Flair took complete control and retained the belt. In other bouts, Andre the Giant and Killer Khan were both disqualified. King Kong Mosca bested John Studd. There's only 3 matches? I mean, Flair versus Race right there is worth your ticket. Huh. You asked us. Okay, here's a monthly feature where you get to write. It's your chance to have a top wrestler answer your question. Okay, top wrestler. Bruno Sammartino Jr. is the first one they have. All right, what did I got to ask Bruno Jr.? David Sammartino. Please ask Bruno Sammartino Jr. if he will be coming to the WWF to carry on the Sammartino name. Tony Alexander, Inglewood, New Jersey. Answer. Due to a very busy schedule, Sammartino Jr. was unavailable to answer this question, but his father, Bruno Sr., offered his opinion. I would like very much for my son to come to the WWF, said Bruno Sr. But first, I believe he should get a little more experience. It is my son's long-range plans to establish himself in the WWF someday. It will probably be in less than 2 years. I couldn't even get Bruno Jr. to like, hey, Bruno, answer this. So he's like, yeah, hey, Mags, hey, no, quit doing what you're doing. I love this. Hey, you don't need a gun. Just get the baton and beat the hell out of people. Oh, as a kid, because, I was reading this is 82. Yeah, I was reading the wrestling magazines by then, but not as often. I never thought about buying back issues, but a couple years later, like 86, 87, hey, quit doing what you're doing. Get. And I looked at these and I want to order every one of them. Or like, okay, I got a couple of bucks. What all could I order? And I never ordered shit because my parents would always go, I don't want to write a check. They hated writing checks and like they wouldn't let me just send cash. I offered to like send cash. Thumbs up and thumbs down. Okay, thumbs up to Pedro Morales. Let me explain thumbs up, thumbs down. People don't know because wrestling magazines are kind of dead now. Every issue, this magazine praises the noteworthy and damns those who violate the spirit of wrestling's dignity. Ooh, okay. The praiseworthy are given a thumbs up. The disgraceful are marked with thumbs down. Here's this month's roll of honor and shame. Thumbs up to Pedro Morales. Despite heartbreaking losses and some miserable luck, Pedro remains faithful to scientific wrestling. While maintaining his integrity, Pedro recently regained the Intercontinental title. It was a superb campaign resulting in magnificent victory. Pedro provided good guys finish first. Thumbs down to the spoiler. Recently, Spoiler's antics in Florida have been reprehensible. He has battered opponents with a savage veal, mocking referees, the rulebook, and the fans. He has turned wrestling into legalized mugging. I love that, legalized mugging. Thumbs down to the masked superstar. Upon his return following an indefinite suspension, Superstar has managed to sneak attack, betray, and brutalize almost every decent wrestler in Georgia. His tactics are needlessly vicious, sending more than one hapless challenger in an early retirement. His feud against Tommy Rich is a new low in wrestling savagery. He has shown his suspension was deserved and a return was not. All right, thumbs up to old Bullet Bob Armstrong. Thumbs up to Bullet Bob. With his son Brad, Bob has proven that a man can succeed in tag team wrestling by being fair, honest, and skillful. He and Brad are the national tag team champions and deservedly so. Their ultimate victory in the tag team title tournament proved courage and determination are the real factors in any important victory. Bullet Bob. Gotta meet the man. Have not met him yet. Thumbs up to Ivan Putski. No sooner did he come back to the WWF than Ivan challenged Greg Valentine. Not content to go after one dangerous rule breaker, Ivan also confronted Jesse Ventura and Adrian Adonis. Ivan proved once again he's a brave man with the fans' interests at heart. Okay, it says continue on page 58. Did it actually continue? I don't remember thumbs up, thumbs down, continuing. I hate how they do this shit. Oh, it does. Okay, so we're going to skip back here. Thumbs down to Sergeant Slaughter. Despite wearing the prestigious U.S. Championship belt, Slaughter continues to wreak havoc in the Mid-Atlantic area. His tactics have instituted a reign of terror, forcing decent wrestlers to either flee the area or decide to stay away. Only the bravest dare go against Slaughter. Why's that a thumbs down? They actually sound like they're praising him, like, hey, man, you a pussy if you ain't going after Slaughter. Thumbs up to Roddy Piper. Even though he's a wrestling rule breaker, Roddy Piper has proven to be more than fair when he's a guest commentator on Georgia Championship Wrestling. His comments are revealing, honest, and informative. He manages to not let personal feelings, even if he is feuding with a wrestler, influence his commentary. Thumbs down to Larry Zbyszko. Despite constant boasts and promises, Larry Zbyszko has stayed away from actually wrestling. His vacation has prompted many rumors, none of which Larry will confirm or deny. Many fears developing an arsenal of rule-breaking tactics designed to make him the most feared man in wrestling. I think Larry's just stalling. Thumbs up to Wildfire, Tommy Rich. Woo, man, Wildfire. Like you've been drinking some Fireball right there. Wildfire. Even after the devastating ruling that took the NWA belt from him after he legally beat champion Ric Flair, Tommy has remained a scientific wrestler who upholds the rules. Good work there, Wildfire. Go back to page 18 here. I hate when magazines do this shit. There's that ad. I love that ad. Here we go. Subscribe to the Wrestler. 24 sensational issues for only $25. Was that 2 years? Oh, no. You get The Wrestler and Inside Wrestling. That's a year's worth for $25. I would have paid it back then. Q&A with Pedro Morales. He's one of those guys I haven't seen a lot of, and I've seen like his later stuff. Collector's Corner. These old magazines. And the prices back then were not bad. I mean, like $25, $30. Now you pay way more. X-Ray on Bob Backlund. They pick like 6 people in the wrestling industry to like talk about the guy. X-Ray, the Wrestler panel examines Bob Backlund. Each month, the Wrestlers panel of experts will offer their candid opinions of one of wrestling's stars, whether an up-and-coming youngster or an established superstar in their own right. Our panel will always be frank and honest without fear of reprisal. Excuse me. So we got Bob, Vern, Gene Kaninsky, Johnny Valentine, Lou Thez, and Eddie Graham. I'm going to go with Johnny and Lou. Just see what they got to say here. All right, Johnny Valentine. Backlund's nothing but a cheater who plays up to the fans. His type of wrestler's been around a long time, and I hate them. Everybody knows Backlund isn't half the wrestler my brother Greg is, but Backlund turned back Greg's challenge for the WWF title. How? By paying off referees to look the other way when the so-called All-American boy cheats his butt off. Backlund is the most overrated wrestler in history. Johnny Valentine is a former U.S. champion and World Tag Team Champion title holder who was a top contender for the NWA, AWA, and WWF belts during his career. Yeah, let's see what old Vern's got to say here. Vern will probably like him. Vern Gagnon. Bob Backlund's come a long way from the first time I met him. He was a young amateur just out of college and he asked me to help train him for the pros. Even then, I knew he had the makings of a world champion. There wasn't any part of the sport he wasn't good at. Okay. I don't think fans give Bobby enough credit for his great strength. Why? He's one of the strongest men in wrestling. He is a champion I'm very proud to have helped him. Vern Gagne held the AWA title a record 11 times. Introducing Eric Embry, who came into prominence in USWA Texas. Who's that? Buzz Sawyer. Tito Santana on the verge of greatness. This is when Tito was in AWA. Wow, okay. Greg Valentine. Tony Atlas still wrestles like a rookie. They always had really good pictures. How Jack Briscoe controls Ric Flair's championship destiny. It is a need growing out of control inside Ric Flair's soul. He must defeat every active former NWA champion. So far, all but one has fallen. Until Jack Briscoe has defeated, Ric Flair is a man driven by a wild obsession. Bob Roop's message to Ted DiBiase. I will fight my own battles, Ted. Ted Roop saw a friend in need and decided to help. But Bob Roop says DiBiase's meddling cost him a title. Once friends, they are now bitter enemies. This is a sad story of how a simple misunderstanding has grown into an uncontrollable war. There's the Armstrongs winning that Georgia National Tag Team title. I like that. The deciding match saw fierce action between Fuji and Saito and the Armstrongs. It was short but fiery contest in which the Armstrongs had to give 110% to prevent the hated WWF Tag Team Champions from gaining another major prize. The final time of the match was 5 minutes and 42 seconds. Wow. And you can see by the headline, the accompanying pictures, the Armstrongs were, of course, victorious. Miss Saito and Mr. Fuji defeat Ted and Jerry Oates. Ray Candy and Bo Sawyer defeat Chris Markoff and Nikolai Volkov. I don't remember no Chris Markoff. That's Chris Markoff there. Mr. Wrestling 2 and Rip Martel defeat Ray Stevens and Super Destroyer, because Super Destroyer was Super Destroyer one of the Irwins? I don't know. Somebody out there knows. Please let me know. Kevin Sullivan and Wayne Ferris. Okay, please have a good picture. Oh, shit. Kevin Sullivan and Wayne Ferris defeat Steve-O and El Gran Apollo. Okay, this guy right here says punk rock on his ass. He's got the blonde hair. That's Wayne Ferris. That's Honky Tonk Man. He was punk rock Wayne Ferris for sure. Anybody out there knows of a match and he's doing the punk rock gimmick that's on YouTube or Daily Motion or Vimeo or anything like that, please link me. I'd love to see this stuff. I love Honky Tonk Man. Brad and Bob Armstrong defeat the Kiwi Sheepherders. That would be Luke and Jonathan Boyd. Okay, that's not Luke and Butch. That's not the Bushwhackers most fans know nowadays. Terry Gordon, Austin Idol versus Big Red and Michael Hayes, WDQ. I don't know who the fuck Big Red is. Mr. Saito and Mr. Fuji defeated Ray Candy and Bo Sawyer. Okay. Kevin Sullivan and Wayne Ferris defeated Mr. Wrestling 2 and Rip Martel. Okay, that's Wayne Ferris right there, and there's Honky Tonk Man right there. You see, he never was like a body guy. He never was a great. Brad and Bob Armstrong defeat Kevin Sullivan and Wayne Ferris. There's Wayne again. And then Armstrong's defeat Saito. Okay. Majoring in Mayhem, the John Studd School of Rule Breaking. John Studd is the demanding teacher. He expects his students to follow his advice. If they listen to the master, they will graduate from John Studd School with a diploma symbolic. They are the most vicious men in wrestling today. Okay, here we go. Professor Studd demonstrates the perfect face rake on Doug Vines, Charles Fulton, Mike Miller, and Izzy Slapowitz. Izzy has passed away. R.I.P., sir. He was lived in Mississippi, as far as I know, for quite the last half of his life. Yeah. Beyond the squared circle, just guys out and about. There's the Von Erichs, looking very 70s. Arnold Skolin, Andy Kaufman, and Jerry Lawler, Nikita Koloff and Markov, Austin Idol, Frank Tunney, Jack Tunney's daddy, Tommy Rich, Big Red, and the more letters. Nothing real fancy here. Fake badges. Yeah, you can order like fake badges back then to fool people. Old issues of PWI, which, what were they back then? $2 a piece. Shit, that's cheap. Fireworks, Sports Review Wrestling, all kinds of old magazines and shit. Q&A. Great picture of Rocky Johnson right there. That's The Rock's father, who didn't he just pass away like in the last year? The Magic Power of Witchcraft. Yes, you have crazy ads like this. And then we got the Wrestling album. Only major damage on this issue too is right there. Number 4, which has a bunch of pictures and shit, not available in stores for $5. Alright. Hope y'all enjoy that. I got a few more of these. If I dig them out, I'll sit down and do these, because I like having stuff up on this channel. It's just, I'll be honest, the wrestling I'm watching, I'm enjoying watching it without having to sit there and take notes. I do want to promote a couple things real quick. Go to the King of Wrestling podcast. Every Tuesday, Brandon Turner, King of Wrestling Podcast, does an interview with somebody on the independent scene. As this is being filmed, this is on Tuesday, he interviewed Big Ramp. Big Ramp is a longtime friend of DIY Mississippi Filmworks and myself. Go watch and listen to this. Ramp is amazing. He's not only a superstar in the wrestling industry, but a superstar in the music industry, and he's getting into acting. Also, you know what? Fuck it. You want some wrestling to watch? You want wrestling with fans? Loud, crazy fans? Besides my channel, there's also Body Slam Media Productions, Kobe Rutland's channel. Got hundreds of matches for free, whole shows. Seminar, if you're a wrestler at home and you can't go to your wrestling school, it's closed, go watch his seminar. He's got Dr. Tom Pritchard. He's got Gino from MLW and Reality of Wrestling. He's got a lot of stuff. So check all that out. Talk to everybody later. Give me that thumbs up. Leave a comment, all that shit. Bye-bye.